I'm Real Genetic Demon, and this is What's on the Tape, Season 18, Volume 9. Yes, one episode away from when I actually take a couple of weeks break so I can catch up with the other videos that I need to record. But I'm going to show you the choices of that last video again today, so you can have a little look at it. Anyway, I've got two this week because basically it's 4 games across these 2 tapes. So we've got Bombjack 2 and Outrun on there, and there's something about this case that's slightly different as well, actually. Just look at this. Slightly narrower. Don't know why, but it's just ever so slightly thinner. I didn't think they did that, but it actually makes more sense. I would rather have a smaller tape case anyway. And it's a nice clean one as well. Anyway, the other tape, which is also which is not a Boots one, it's a big K one. We've had one of these in the past actually, but in a Boots cassette case. There's a big K one, and this has got Hangman and Hunchback on it, two which we've seen before. Well, maybe not. Oh God, maybe not that Hangman. So anyway. Throwing that on there, but I'm going to do one of those random pick ones as well, just so you've got something else. So hang on, let me grab the box. I'll bring it over. So, hang on. We'll move those out the way for a second. So we've got the random... Oh, shaking the calendar. We're going to put our hands in here and go random something or other. Let me just... What's that one? That's the one. Spellbound. Oh, right, I remember Spellbound. This is a sort of, what's it called? Q-Bert-style clone. So we'll play that one. That's one that I quite like. That one came, I think, on Soft Aid. I'm pretty convinced it did, actually. I think that's where first time I played it. Hang on a second. I've got a software very close by... Hang on. Hopefully I don't pull anything off of my head. I've already dropped something in this video. So let's put that there. Yeah, so there's Soft Aid with that sort of poignant image that on the front of it, the famine in Ethiopia. And yeah, there we go. Look, Spellbound, Beyond Spellbound. This is one I quite liked. I quite liked it because it's quite nice and arcadey. But yeah, and if you want to see Soft Aid played in full, it's on my channel. So it's worth watching. Right, I'll pop that out of the way, and I'm going to show you the 2 choices that we've got for this week's end of the sort of season thing. So here's our 2 choices again. We've got Dizzy's Excellent Adventure, saved in a CEX for £5. It's battered to hell. I quite like it. So we've got Dizzy's Excellent Adventure, which is basically lots of Dizzy games. Or, alternatively, we've got the Cartoon Collection, and that's right, I think Cartoon Collection is absolutely winning it. Dizzy, CJ's and Elephant Antics, Slightly Magic, Spike, and Seymour's Hollywood, basically. Oh, they've got some good scores. That one says Zap. That's not Spectrum, that's Zap. That's the Crash magazine for Commodore users. Look there, 64%, 64%, 94% even. So yeah. So one of those 2 anyway. If you want to make a choice, either do it in this video or do it on the very first volume 1 if you haven't already watched it. So anyway, without further ado, let's get one of these into a tape drive. Okay, the tape is in the drive, so we'll go down to our favourite, which is Basic and Low Dit Dit, because, of course, as a kid, I didn't know that speech marks were speech marks, so I just thought they were dit dits, because they look like dit dit, dit dit, so low dit dit. So, it makes sense to me. I don't know about you, but it definitely makes sense to me. Anyway, first tape, first one in the drive. I rewound the one that was there, so I'm on side A, and this is Hangman, or it should be Hangman, hopefully. We'll see whether or not we actually get tapes that behave. To be fair, we've had a touching wood and all that. We've had a reasonable run, apart from Rastan last week, which was a bit of a pain. It didn't really want to load, and then we ended up with a 48K version over the 128K version. I forgot it was a multi-loader. I'll be honest. I didn't remember that particular game was a multi-loader. Well, that's a problem. It's one of those things where I'm like, was it or wasn't it? I don't know. Yeah, I forgot it was a multi-loader. So, and the first level was pretty quick. But to be honest, I've done a lot of honesty here, by the way. Oh, there we go, level 1. Yeah, yes. Oh, I've got to choose letter. A. Is there an A in it? Nope. It starts building it. Oh, okay, this is quite good. Right, what letters are meant to be common? Is it T or something like that? No, there's no T in it. Right, okay. It's a shame it's not putting the letters anyway. It's really very basic, isn't it? It's loaded really quickly, though, which is extremely handy. There might be something else on the tape, but we never know because of that. A G. Let's put a G in it. There's a G in it. There is a G. Begins with G. Huh. Okay. Let's put a H into it. No H's. I don't know. There's a Y on the end. Oh, I don't know. Let's think of another letter that we can put in here. My wife thinks it's her name. Standing behind me. She thinks it's her name. Let's just try it, see if it is. It's got one of her initials in. Oh, it does have an L in it. All right, okay. If somebody's got this already, haven't they? We've done an E. A. No A. An N? No N. I'm a little bit worried. My face has now appeared and I look very, very sad. I'm actually missing my entire body. No, that's not that one. I think we've done an E. O. O.
Glory.
Oh, glory. There we go. Glory! That's my wife just got that. We're on to level still on level 1. Look, it's getting harder as we go along. It's edging across the screen here to get harder. Let's press E for E to start with. Oh, it has an E at the beginning. Oh. So it got an N in it. Oh, it does. Does it have a D in it? No. So it got a T in it. I quite like this Hangman, actually. It doesn't tell me who made it, though. But it's really interactive in the sense of the way that the things drop down the screen and the way the things that go across. Quite like it, actually. Right. Oh, I'm trying to think of a letter here. Should we do it with the Y again? Oh, there's a Y. An A. Is there a V in it? No. Is there an O in it? Envoy? Envoy? I don't know. I would have thought I would have got that there with that button. Oh, enjoy. Oh, God. Just realised. Enjoy. There we go. Another level up. We're working our way up. It's going to be hard for me, this. I can tell. Everybody spells on their phones nowadays, don't they? On their word processors. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, no Y in it. Not that I thought there'd be a Y. Is there an A in it? There's no A in it. Is there an E in it? Let's do some vowels. There's an E at the end. I like the way it kind of moves across though, and then drops in the bin. And if it drops in the bin, then a bit of the gallows works. There was a news report on the BBC. There was a gentleman who used to make gallows on his farm in I think it was in southern Scotland, and he used to make gallows. And he used to sell gallows for £70,000, and until somebody, this is to abroad as well. Can you imagine that? Really, in this day and age, still buy. I mean, it was probably 10 years ago, but he used to make gallows. Really, honestly. Actually a thing. I don't know how you do that in all good consciousness, build gallows and then go, oh yeah, that's absolutely perfectly reasonable, That was an S that I put in there. No, I don't know why I'm putting that in there. I put a J in it for the fun of it. And we're not doing well here. Let's put a puff for people. Okay. No O.
I don't even have a clue, by the way. I'm not very good with when it comes to the old spelling thing. I'm one of that 8% who actually has dyslexia. So I find words quite a difficult thing. And as a result, prize. I think this is. There's I. Yep, and Z. There we go. It gets better with age, though. You practice with dyslexia, but yeah, I'm one of those 8% of the population who has it in some form to certain levels. There we go. That's why I read things badly sometimes as well. S. Let's press B. No. I'm quite enjoying this one, actually. It's very simple, but just. I'm gonna put K in there for fun. No K's. Any T's? Testy. That's what it is. It's clearly testy. No, it's not. It's taste. Hurrah! I've got another one. Yay! I quite like it though. To be fair, there's nothing frustrating about this one. It's definitely a good one. I want to see whether or not it's a basic program. Press escape. Yes, it is. Let's do a list and see if we can get any details of that. Right. Oh god, what we got to do? Got to do paper, haven't we? Or is it ink? One of the two. We need to do. Hang on. We need to do ink. I can't remember what the ink button is. Just 1 second while I grab my old. Well, I grab the old ZX Spectrum rubber key because, of course, they took all of the key functionality off the +2 because, of course, you could have programming +2 basic, but when you're not in +2 basic, you can't actually do off 128K basic or whatever you want to call it. Basically, you could type the words out instead of actually having to press the buttons on the key. So it's a bit annoying. Hang on a second. I'm going to grab a specky. I'm just going not far away. Still here. Running all the way. Going up here. I'll be back in a second. You stay there. Got it. Oh. Just make sure nothing falls off the shelf while we're doing it. Yeah, so I've got my little Spectrum here. This is my rubber key one. This came with a bundle that I got. I didn't intend to really buy a rubber key one. I did want one at some point, but I didn't intend to buy it, and it came. It was really, really battered. So I ordered a new faceplate and a new case for it. And now it's in beautiful luminescent orange because I kind of like orange. I don't know if I've said this before, but I'm kind of a fan of orange. Right, okay, let's do ink. So that is symbol shift, and X. Well, that's clear. Let's delete that. Symbol shift and X. No, that's not what we do. Oh, it's extended mode, symbol shift and X. Sorry. It's been a while. Extended mode, symbol shift X, ink. And let's change it to something like 3. And then let's do the list key again. There we go, 3. There we are. Does it give everybody's name? I'm kind of tempted to see whether there's a name in here. Nothing thus far. Oh, there's the words, look. Whisk, light, brisk. See, there's line 100, 800 there, sorry. There's our words as they got longer and longer. It's not the biggest of dictionaries. I suppose if you played it enough, you'd probably be done, because it looks like it ends at things like whisper and working and vibrant. I quite like the fact that somebody's used the word vibrant. And there's no name. There's no name unless it's that line 1. Can I edit line 1? If I type 1, does it let me edit it? No, just I don't know what I've done. I think I've just killed line 1. I thought there was a button to edit. Spectrum on the floor. Let's see if there's anything else on this tape then. So let's just do a new rather than doing a sort of a reset of the specky. Let's push the button and see if there's anything else on this tape. You never know. There might be. We might sneak something, a little bit of history, something that we haven't seen before, something there. Anyway, while that's doing that, I'm going to have a sup of my coffee because I love a good cup of coffee. I don't know if you've noticed. It might not be very noticeable on these videos. I've found that people don't realise whether they actually like a cup of coffee, but I have been known to dabble with a bit of caffeination. But most of the time, nobody knows. It's very subtle. It's very subtle. It's so subtle you wouldn't even notice most of the time. Coffee. Oh, I love coffee. Coffee's great. I was doing some presentations this week, as part of my work, I was doing some presentations, and I was driving to the place, and it wasn't early, but you know what that was mornings where you wake up and you go, oh my god, I've had no sleep at all. I'm so exhausted. Yeah, there was something there, but not something there. So exhausted. Anyway, I was driving there. It was about an hour away, and I was driving, and as I was getting almost there, it was like there was what, like a shining beacon in the sky. There was a Starbucks sort of calling my name, so I went and got a large vanilla latte. So let's have a little list of this. Oh, okay, beep. Let's just do this. Let's run. It's a piano. Let's build a tune. We're gonna call it. I don't know. Is there any more buttons? Was that it? Was that all the buttons? That's kind of cool though. Kind of like that. What we got? Oh, we got the 1 to 9 as well. Hang on, we got to run that again. I missed some buttons. It's the latest techno track. I've now. Oh no, yeah, you ready for it? Oh, I'm not going to subject you to any more. Let us carry on. See if there's anything else on here. That was cool. I like that. That's kind of cool. I kind of like it when we find hidden things on there. There was a missing in action, wasn't it? It was called the keyboard. Oh, we got music. We got music. We got historic music. Cool. Let's get the tape deck out. Here we go. We've got music from the past. We better not play it for any more than about 3.5 seconds because YouTube takes a thing and sort of then takes ownership of everything I've done. But we'll do it for a second or so. It's about all you're gonna get. You know, a little taster of the music, a taster of the tune that's there. Let's have a little bit of this. Let's plug this in here. Let's push the button. No idea what it is, but I know for a fact if I go any longer than that, YouTube will basically give all the proceeds that I never collect from it to the artist of the music, because that's what they do with those things. They don't. It's not called it. You sometimes hear people talking about copyright strikes and things like that. Strikes are totally different to that of. Oh God, I'm dropping things here. Are completely different to that of sort of a copyright sort of ownership or grab, you know. So they basically just say that's owned by somebody else, take it. And I'm never that bothered to kind of sort of get rid of it. I let them. They can have all their adverts in the world that they want, you know. So I'm not really that fussed. They did it even when you don't have any money. They just go, here, we'll take your channel. Anyway, let's fast forward that. Bit of music through there. Somebody copying singles, I think. I saw something the other day. It was one of these memes on somewhere, and it was saying saying that you had something on vinyl, before it became it's like saying that it was something on it's like something on like something on, probably on one of the Sinclair sort of groups on Facebook. Clive's Retro Bar, good place, nice people. It's just a bar, you know. But Clive's Retro Bar, there was this thing that's saying that like saying that you had a song on vinyls, like saying you owned the Predator on VHS, because it's really old. But I actually would disagree with that now because we're now in that scenario in life where we've got a lot of music there. We're now in that scenario of life where they're wanting people. Oh, Eric Clapton that was. Let's hang on. There's a bit of non music there. It sounds like radio here. Hang on, we'll grab this. Oh, get back here. But yeah, I personally think it's quite cool nowadays. When people say to me about tapes, vinyl, and old stuff, everybody thinks it's quite cool nowadays that all these retro things that you've got them working and how did it work and all this kind of stuff. It's quite amazing, really. Love it.
Take a chance. It's from August and Eric Clapton, and we're nearly out of August. And do you realise that autumn is only around the corner? Goodness gracious, nearly September, so about a week away from now. Slusherama, the smooth operators coming up just after this.
Skipper of Gloucester are the county's #1 Vauxhall local dealer. The real dealer with the deals. Whatever you want, we've got it. Crazy prices, giveaway deals, massive discounts.
Skipper!
Massive stocks of new cars, great part exchange deals. Skipper, Carl Avenue, Gloucester, the real dealer with the deals.
Skipper! I love it. Smoke me a kipper, Skipper. I'll be back for breakfast. It's a Red Dwarf.
With Christmas Day and Boxing Day aboard the luxurious cruise liner La Palma, and all from just
La Palma.
£559. 11 unforgettable days.
11 unforgettable days, peoples.
When we buy London Day Out ticket from Intercity, we get Chase Tube and bus as well.
Better running, Wolf. Smarter than look.
Oh my God, there's cultural appropriation for a start off back in the 80s.
There's something.
And there's the end of the tape. That was kind of interesting. I kind of like that. That was kind of cool. That was good fun. I got to admit, that was quite fun to see a bit of historical sort of stuff going on there. I now want to buy a Vauxhall from Skipper. Smoke me a Skipper, Kipper, Skipper, Hipper, Hipper. One of those two things. So. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. I love it when we find a bit like that, you know, and it's always a surprise as well, because I was expecting that tape to be completely sort of, nothing else on it. Why the hell would you record anything on it? But no, there it was, a bit of music from the past, a bit of historical stuff. I hope I don't get one of them copyrighty thingies for that tape, because I'll be honest, that wasn't a lot of stuff on there. That wasn't a lot of stuff. I didn't give a lot of long play on that thing. It must have been a local radio in Gloucester, from the sound of things. So this is where that tape's come from, Gloucester. Somebody in Gloucester sent this through to. Actually, I can't remember who sent this to me. I do remember doing a video on opening it at the beginning of what's on the tape, but I don't remember who specifically sent it to me. So, Hunchback 2. This is hilarious. This is a really, really hilarious. The arcade game features a bit where you run along the wall, and then a sort of secondary platform level where you have to collect bells and make your way to the top of the tower. So you run along the wall, and then you've got to collect the bells as Quasimodo. So Quasimodo's trying to make his way to Esmeralda, but when they saw this on the Spectrum version, they decided that they could make 2 games out of it. This is Ocean, by the way. They could make 2 games out of this. For everybody, you could have 2 games of it. So you could have one game where you ran across the top of the mountain, and the second game that actually did the bit that was inside the tower, the Quasimodo's Revenge, which is to climb up and finally rescue Esmeralda. But in the original arcade game, those 2 sections were one and the same. It was part of the same whole game. So they kind of cheated a little bit, didn't they? They were kind of doubling their money on this one. If they got a hit with the first one, they certainly got hit with the second one. I have to admit, though, the cartoony graphics from Bob Wakeling on this game, and even that loading screen, are absolutely phenomenal. They really are. They look really, really good. There's another one as well, isn't there? There's Hunchback Adventures as well, which is a double dual case, which is an adventure game, which is kind of a strange, slightly different thing. But I have to admit that these 2 particular ones, I was wanting these. These were the ones I wanted. That and Daley Thompson Decathlon. You know, when I started recollecting my Spectrum stuff, it was one of those things that I needed for my collection. There's a few things. I'm now collecting a lot less. What I'm now collecting is it sounds weird, but when I look at things, I look at it and I go, oh, that's got an interesting case. Or that's a slight variation on what I've actually got. And I quite kind of, it's not indirectly sort of wanting to do that. Some of them are cheap and some are expensive. I got Gulpman the other day, which is a totally different cover, which includes the 16K Spectrum version, and 48K version for the Spectrum, and it also includes the Z80 version of it, and it has a little man, and for me it looks a little bit like Buck Rogers in his sort of white spacesuit, shooting ghosts down in a corridor down the way. And it's completely, obviously it's not Pac-Man, it's a man in a little white outfit sort of shooting, and it's just so different than the usual Gulpman sort of cover that's out there, the sort of re-release. They did a lot of re-releasing back in the day as well. A lot of it was a re-release. You know, it's like this was a re-release of that, and then they renamed it as well. And then when you loaded it, you went, hang on a minute, that's not the name of the game. It's a bit like Codemasters, who changed, for instance, the one that I can think off the top of my head, only because it was one that I really quite liked, was Mountain Bike Simulator became Mountain Bike 500, because obviously that was a catchier title. But it didn't make much sense, really, Mountain Bike 500. It's funny that, though. You know, I think that's the reason why that's in my head at the moment, is that I've been watching on YouTube. YouTube's been showing me lots of people on bicycles going down mountains, and of course, the more you kind of watch these things, the more that shows you, you know, people going down sort of mountainsides on bicycles, and the whole time, the one thing goes through my mind is lunatics. I couldn't do it. It's deadly. It's absolutely deadly. Right, okay. So we've got to collect the bells along the bottom of here like this. And as I say, they created a second game out of it, and then we've got to go up on this. Not die, hopefully. But this is the second part of the game. So this is actually in the game, but not in the game. If that's utterly ridiculous, but true. So we're going to wait for this one here, and then we've got to ring the bell at the top like you used to do on the... Rubbish at this. No real sound effects, just sort of death sounds. Early games were like this. They didn't think of the sound effects as necessary. I quite like the Hunchback... oh God, I'm not doing well here, because every time I go down there, I keep jumping on it at the wrong time. Don't mind jumping on it when the thing's going the other way. Oh no, I missed it. Right, okay, so we're going to wait for this arrow to go across before I get on that one. There we go. Up we go. Da, 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 da. No, quickly. Oh, that was close. Oh, that was close. I was so close there to doing it. It's actually quite good, this one. It's a nice little platformer. Tough. You know, nothing. You'd expect nothing less from the 80s. And they were always tough games in the 80s, and that's the nature of them. There we go. Eric, the newsagent. Good old Eric. Would have sold these back in his store the other day. So many tunes that were repeated over and over again. Do you remember when you used to hear on hold music? It was Greensleeves. That was one of those things that used to be always on hold music when you ever had a sort of back in the day. That was the only music the systems could do, or the only music they could afford. It's quite funny, really. And run. Up on here. Nope, he's got me. I'm meatball in the bum. Little meteorite meatball-y thing that was flying across. I like the way that they've done the graphics on it. I am on it. I'm on. That's better. Ah, no, damn. You went... Oh, God, you had it there. You had it there. Just don't do that again. No. Oh, I had a plan there. It was a cunning plan. I almost got on the thing before. Yes, there is a. Oh no! I'm going too fast. Go slow down. Oh, it's not bad. Come on. My plan is I think sort of working. Oh no. No, that was a mistake there. It was a mistake. I should have just gone for it early on there. Very much a timing exercise, this one. I do feel like I can do this, though. We'll have one more go, and then we'll see if we can do it. This looks good. Do recommend it. I recommend getting both of them, to be honest, because just purely for the Bob Wakeland covers, if anything. I think that's one of my reasons for buying it back in the day. I was very much a fan of his art. It was fantastic. I think what was it? Game Over was the big one, wasn't it? Game Over was the reason why we kind of loved Bob's art, because there was a naughty lady on the front. Well, she wasn't naughty. Her bra was naughty, wasn't it? It was everything was escaping. So I remember putting that poster up on the wall in my bedroom, the uncensored version. and my mum taking a good sort of hard look at that, and then going to talk to my dad about the fact that I'd got a semi-clad lady on my wall. This is going to be hard. It's made it. I made it. And I've done it! Oh yeah, I remember now. You got to land on the boat, and the slowdown is horrendous now. It's just too much going on for it. No, boat! Oh no, I missed it. That's alright though. I got a bit further than I would have thought I was going to get. So yeah. By the way, the poster got to stay. I think it was deemed appropriate enough. It was deemed as art, so we were okay. The poster got to stay. So for anybody who's worried that the poster got destroyed in any way, it probably did later in life, but it was deemed okay as art, wasn't it? Was that Bob? Probably turns out it's not Bob Wakeland's art. I'm sure it was. Right, okay. I'm just seeing if there's anything else on here. Considering we had a little bit before. Just a little bit. We'll see if there's anything else on here. A little fast forward. A little fast forward. A little flick on of the tape and see if there's anything else there. It's a pretty big game, though, is Hunchback, so I'm quite surprised if there is. I've enjoyed this one thus far. Interesting and fun. And I've got coffee. I don't know about you. Don't know if you know, but I quite like coffee. Oh, coffee's good. I hope you've all got a beverage and you sat down and had a beverage, because I do this at PSVU on Sunday morning. So I always like to think you're all chowing down on a bit of chowing down. All eating a bit of toast and having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. That's what I like to think if you're doing in the morning. Just relaxing. You don't even have to watch it. You just need to see. You just need to listen to me talking absolute rubbish for however long the video lasts for. Well, this side looks empty. Oh, hang on. We got something. We got one. Ghostbusters. How can I help you? We got one! No, unfortunately it's halfway through though. It's overwritten something else. There was something else on the Hunchback tape. It's probably the advanced Hangman. With extra whatever it is. That Hangman looked like it could have been typing actually, but it was so really well crafted. Yeah, that's the tape finished. That's that one done. I quite enjoyed that one. I don't know about you, but I did enjoy that one. But that was so well crafted though as a game. I quite like that. I think if I'd typed that one in, I'd definitely kept that for myself. Right, okay, where are we? Next tape. What's rewound? Ah, right, okay, here we go. I'm not sure the second one of these, Outrun, is going to work, because Outrun originally came on a massive tape. So we'll see. If it doesn't work, I'll pick another tape out of the box, because it may or may not, because it had loads of levels, unless it's a different Outrun, which is possible. So this next one is Bomb Jack 2. Now, Bomb Jack 2 isn't actually Bomb Jack. Hear me out. If you listen to the Commodore 64 version, the music is that of Thundercats, and Bomb Jack himself features a orange mane of hair and a knife or a sword when he held aloft that sword and said, "Thunder, thunder, Thundercats, ho!" And it makes a lot more sense when you do that. But of course, they had more success with Bomb Jack at the time, and Thundercats had the previous Thundercats outing had sort of bombed. So Elite redid the whole game and called it Bomb Jack 2. So by redid, they didn't do a lot to it. They just put different branding on, like the loading screens and other things. So this is actually Thundercats, but it's not. And I remember getting this. I remember buying this double dual case because I was an absolute massive fan of the original Bomb Jack. I love the arcade version. It's a fantastic conversion on the Spectrum. It's really, really good. Got this on the old Spectrum. I was like, what is this? This isn't Bomb Jack. This isn't even Super Bomb Jack, because the Nintendo Entertainment System got Super Bomb Jack. which was sort of a platforming, moving game version of it, which was a completely waste of time. I'm not sure how you could have improved on the first Bomb Jack. It's one of those things. It's what would you have done to the first Bomb Jack to improve on it? It had jumping, sort of flying, shooting around levels. I suppose you could have changed the levels up a bit, maybe? Not really sure. I'm not sure what you'd have done to improve it, but as I say, this is not actually Bomb Jack. This is Thundercats. And this isn't unusual, by the way. The same appeared with Airwolf 2. So after the success of the extremely hard Airwolf, which a lot of people say to me in the comments, it's Marmite, that one, isn't it? It's Airwolf. But a lot of people say in the comments to me that it's actually, it's kind of get good kind of thing on the game. And a lot of people say in the comments it's very misunderstood. It's a lovely game. It's a great game, But I couldn't get on with it because I can never get past the stupid barrier in the second room. And if you do get past it, then the obstacles are almost as hard as the first obstacles. But anyway, where was it? What was my point? Airwolf 2. Airwolf 2 is set in space with the helicopter. Yeah, how's that one work? It doesn't. The reason it works like that is that they swapped the sprite of the spaceship for Airwolf 2 in an attempt to sell more copies and called it Airwolf 2. It was just a sprite swap, so this is kind of what's happened here. They swapped the sprite. It's going to start off as something else and changed into something else. It wasn't uncommon. It really wasn't uncommon. I'm sure there was a lot of sprite swaps along the way. It's a bit like the, but then of course then you have the actual genuine changes. I mean, talking of Elite Systems, Elite Systems had the rights to Commando, which we played last week, which was great, very enjoyable. But there was at the same time a game being developed before Alligator Software or Alligator, called Who Dares Wins. It was so close to Commando at that point in time that they rejigged it to avoid legal threats from Elite Systems, who was probably one of the few companies out there that actually employed legal action against people who stole similar sort of ideas or concepts. So Who Dares Wins, which doesn't exist, you cannot find Who Dares Wins. Who Dares Wins 2. I mean, if you found a prototype of that, I think it would probably be worth a few quid, to be honest with you. Certainly one that needs to be kept and safe or whatever else is. But it definitely needs to be kept safe. But that basically the threat from possible legal action from Elite Systems made them create Who Dares Wins 2, which is a significantly changed version of it, screen at a time. The scrolling on the Commodore 64 version, which kind of shows back to its roots as Commando, whereas on the Spectrum version it's screen by screen. I think on the Amstrad CPC version it's also screen by screen. It's just the Commodore version shows the scrolling that could have been in there, that could have been used, and would have made it more like Commando. Same scenario, basically. Work your way through the level, rescue hostages, destroy the enemy bases at each end of the whole thing. It's effectively the same sort of game as Commando, but that threat from Elite Systems was enough to make them make significant alterations to it, so that Who Dares Wins doesn't exist. I understand though Kickstart does exist on the Commodore 64, but doesn't exist on the Spectrum. There's kind of weird things, isn't there, where they didn't overlap. Kickstart 2, of course, being an absolutely fantastic side-scrolling sort of trail game where you sort of jump over things. I am amazed that it hasn't appeared on What's on the Tape. And I'll sort of clarify that because of the fact that it was such a popular game. It used to be everywhere. I used to see it in almost every bundle. There was Kickstart 2. I haven't seen it for a while though. Does that mean that all those copies are now hidden away or gone? Don't know. But anyway, so here we are, Bomb Jack 2. Or Thundercats 2, as I'd like to call it. Let's press 1. I'll see if I can work out my keys. Yeah, left, right. That's it. Right, so you got to get these gold things. I don't know what my attack button is. What's my attack button? Before these things mutate, and you can jump between things, and you're meant to get them when they're that puddle of gold. Yeah, I'm meant to get them before the puddle of gold. And then you've got to sort of jump between platforms. So he's forgotten how to jump, by the way. If you haven't realised, he's forgotten how to do that. 2 puddles of gold. He's forgotten how to do to sort of fly through the air as he used to. He just jumps up and down. And if I can remember how to do the knife, you'll see he does the knife move. Where's the knife move? Come on. Where's knife? Where's knife? Was that knife there? Oh, and you just get pushed off the platforms. By the way, it's not even. It's not. Oh, your life goes down and then you get pushed off the platforms. What's the attack button? Is it space? Don't want to do that. There's stab. There's stab. Right. Okay. So X is stab. So he's got a knife as well, a sword, so you can stab those things off the edge like that. And then they go to specific levels, and then they push you off the edge. Let's go up on here. That's it. You can stay on there. And then collect these things. And if you collect enough of those gold ones in a row, you get extra bonuses. It's not bad. It's just not Bombjack. And that's the really sad part about it. They kind of did a lot of swapping of various things to avoid I guess I mean I think they had themselves a decent enough game here. It's just not Bombjack. It's none of that bouncing around, collecting exploding bombs and all these things to go with it. It's playable enough, but I was quite disappointed. It was not what I expected. It took me a while to work out the whole control. Thy game is over. Yes, because thy game is how you used to say it when you were Lion-O. But yeah, it's not awful, but it's just not Bombjack. Playable, enjoyable, interesting to see on the Commodore version. I think I have done it on the channel before because it's just interesting to hear that the way that it doesn't do what you think it's going to do. So there we go, get that one. Do extra points. Levels are okay, it's fairly arcadey. Right. And there we go. Got those 2. We're done. Good to go. And I'm just going to have to pause for 1 second. I'll be back in a second. Hang on. Okay, so I'm back. The doorbell rang there. Dog was going nuts. So I had to go because my wife's down in the garden. Sort of, I think she's knitting actually. To be honest with you, she's down in the garden knitting. So doorbell's going. Wife's going nuts. No, dog's going nuts. Went out the front door to see what was there. Could see a post van, couldn't see the post person. Went round the corner, and the lovely post lady's talking to the dog over the fence, saying, "Hello, who are you?" And the dog's going bonkers, foaming at the mouth. It's a Chihuahua crossed with a Yorkie. What do you expect? It's mental. It's a special kind of dog. Right, okay. So a quick run of Bombjack 2, because while we're here, you did, my turn ended a bit quick for my liking there. So let's got pushed off the edge by him. Let's go for it. Yeah, so he's got a little knife as well. Bombjack didn't have a knife. It's sort of what's the lizardy creatures in the cats? Don't know. Collecting the gold's a bit weird. The whole concept's slightly off Bombjack. There's no bombs involved. If these were bombs, it would make more sense. So if you weren't collecting gold but you were collecting bombs, yeah, I think it would make more sense. But it doesn't. So you're not collecting bombs. There we go, got those. Yeah, but if you're collecting bombs, it would make more sense that we're going to explode, but they don't. They're just like pool, and then they're pools of gold. The bags like pour open, and you get points for the fact that the bags have opened. And then you've got these guys who are flying around. It'd be funnier if they brought in Mumra, wouldn't it? As part of one of the levels. Sort of, look, it's Mumra, and there's like a puzzle as well here because you're going to jump between the platforms you can see within the same sort of level of it all. So you can't just jump off one edge and jump into another. And your strength is pretty tough. Thy game is over. There we go. Anyway, yeah, Bombjack 2, not bad. It's not bad at all. It's not it's not awful. I was just disappointed because I was expecting bombs. There wasn't any bombs, so I'm going to press the play button. I don't think it'll be anything at the end of this tape. Not this time round. I've been pretty bad this week for sending stuff out, so I do apologise to a couple of people. I got a copy of Dictator for a friend, and I haven't put it in the post, so I do apologise, Daryl. I do apologise. Tension was there, but I never got the chance. Never got a chance to wrap it all up. And I meant to send the wife out with it, and I didn't even get a chance to do that. And she's saying, which one do you want me to send? And she's piling through everything, so now I have to find it. It's somewhere, but anyway, yeah, I will sort that out. We'll go out, try and get it out next week, and we can have that. So he's working on early sort of stage Spectrum games, those early sort of 82, 83, 84, I think, and 85 maybe at a push. Oh, Jason's. Well, this is an outrun. This is something different. I quite like it. This is Jason's Gems, which was a Mastertronic game. I was gonna say you're gonna struggle to put outrun on this. In fact, there's no loading screen as well. This is interesting. This could be something Jason's special collection of, I don't know, Spectrum nudies maybe. I don't. It could be. They did exist. Oh, hang on. There is actually a program. Let's do a list first. There is some poking going on. Okay. Inky. AD. Right, let's press break and let's do run. Motocross! Da-na-na-na-na. We've got motocross and stunt cycle. My programs consist of 2 motorcycle games. Motocross, jump with the J when you reach when you reach the Skodas. You have to jump Skodas. Both programs accelerate and decelerate are A and D. Yeah, that's fine. And J to jump. That makes sense. I get that. Hang on up. I'm going to drink my coffee. These are more interesting when they do this. Let's do one for motocross. Right. What's going on? Can't seem to slow it down. I'm pressing D to decelerate. J to jump. We're not doing much J-ing. The time was... I'm not doing anything. Right, okay, let's run it again. Let's run the program again from the start. Let's try the other one. Motocross. Let's do 2 for stunt bike. Need some graphics. That's what it needs. There we go. We've got Skodas at the bottom there. So it's going across the screen. Press J to jump the Skodas. I'm pressing J. Come on, let's jump some Skodas. I'm guessing the G's are the Skodas. I guess the graphics aren't done. Jason was planning to put the graphics in, he hasn't actually done. So it's a semi-complete and an integer out of range. Kind of explains it's not quite done. Well done, Jason, though. Good start. Let's see what else you've got on here, because this is clearly Jason's secret tape. Secret tape of his secret stuff. Of his secret game configurations of various versions. Come on, Jason's. Another load from Jason's. I like this. I like it when this happens. These are the unexpected. These are the. We had music. We've had a bit of skippers. Where we're all going to get our next Vauxhall Nova from. And now we've got. Why am I doing load? I want to run. Russian roulette. Oh wow. Yes, Russian roulette, as made sort of famous by the deer hunter, where you put a bullet in the barrel, spin the barrel, put it to your head, pull the trigger, and if you don't blow your own brains out, you collect the money. A bit nuts, that one. Was that Robert De Niro in that one? That movie? It was a Vietnam one, wasn't it? It was kind of shell shocked and whatever else is. This is a revolver pointing at you. It has 1 bullet. Press A to spin the cylinder as long as you wish and press fire with B. 100 points each time a gunfighter gunfires to kill you, and then try again. Alright, okay. I'm spinning the barrel. I think I spun the barrel. Press B to fire. You died. Okay. 1 bullet in and you died. So I would not be very good at Russian roulette. Let's try running it again. Let's it's not good spelling of Russian though. Let's press B. You died. 1 bullet in. Right. Okay, hang on. I didn't spin it, did I? Let's press A to spin. Do I have to hold it down to spin it? I don't know. Oh, there we go. You survived. 3 bullets in. The inch you're out of range. So you had to hold it down to do it. I quite like this noise of the spinning, though. Did you hear this noise of the spinning? There, listen. You survived. Bullets in 6. Alright, so it's in 6. Right, I survived, but then it's out of range, so it's not actually working. Right, okay, well, that's all right. It's different. It's different. It was a different game than I was expecting. I don't know about you, but let's have a little see what else Jason's got on his secret tape of secret Jason games. That's just sound, so that could have been Outrun for all I know. What else do you put on here, Jason? Or is that it? Are we all done? I might get another tape out yet, actually. I'm feeling. Are you feeling lucky? Because I'm feeling lucky. Well, I wasn't very lucky because I shot myself in the head, didn't I? I went straight away on the Russian roulette. I haven't seen that in years, actually, Deer Hunter. It was a weird one. Was it De Niro or was it the other one? Who I always think of the same people. Oh, what's the other one I'm thinking of now as well? Is it Al Pacino, the other one? Is it Al Pacino or De Niro? Robert De Niro was in Brazil. I watched Brazil recently. I highly recommend watching Brazil if you've not seen it in a long time. Very weird. Terry Gilliam is responsible for the design choices, and it is definitely Robert De Niro in it. And it's kind of weird. He plays Harry Tuttle, who's a terrorist plumber. Yes, you can't make it up. It's British humour. Do you know what the one thing I do love is the cleverness of our humour in this country. And that sounds big-headed, doesn't it? But we have a real sort of vast range of humour for the most part, or we used to anyway. And things like that where you make Robert De Niro, that's data for Outrun. Yeah, it's data for Outrun. I'm going to pick another tape after this. That's it. You're getting another one whether you like it or not. Tough. Just stay there. Finish your toast. Finish your coffee. Have another slice of toast. Or maybe not have a slice of toast. Do what you like, to be honest with you. Do drink what you want. No, there's a clear bit there. No, that's yeah, that's another wasted one there. That's nothing going to be on that one, I'm afraid. Another sort of empty tape, I think. Right, okay, we'll just fast forward that and we'll bung in Spellbound as featured on Soft Aid. This is one of those Beyond ones. Remember the Beyond ones mostly came in large cardboard boxes. This did not. This came in a single dual case. Before they became those absolutely fantastic and overly sort of engineered manuals and cutouts and other things. So was it the Lords of Midnight, wasn't it? And all this kind of stuff, and Doom Dark. Those things, they just over-engineered their packaging after that. It's absolutely beautiful stuff, sort of cardboard boxes. It's amazing they survived to this day. I got a box of bits from somebody, and it had the Ghosts. That's not the game I was expecting to be on here. Why does it say Ghosts? This should say Spellbound. This has been overwritten. Even better. I love it. It's even better. We've been overwritten. We've been overtaken by something. It's even better. We can't beat this. Something's overtaken this one with something else. No idea what it is now. None at all. Well, let's go turn into one of them episodes. These are the fun ones. I love all the episodes I do, but these are the really fun ones where you find something different. You go, wow, what's this? What have we got? I'm hoping Spellbound's on the other side. Ghosts. CDS Ghosts. This will be Ghost Gobblers? It was a very terrible title. Ghost Gobblers, I think it is. Microsystems. CDS Microsystems. Ghost Gobblers it is. Oh, Gobble a Ghost. Sorry, yeah, almost the same thing. Gobble a Ghost. Totally different game than originally there. If this loads, I'll be surprised considering that doesn't look right. Could be right, but it doesn't look right. Gobble a Ghost. It's amazing these things appear though. Just out of, so somebody's overwritten, didn't like Spellbound that much, decided to overwrite one side of the tape. Yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely decided that this is something else. Right, okay. PlayZX. I'm gonna get PlayZX on just in case we need to do this. That made some noises and then didn't actually happen. Right, okay. And now we've got another noise afterwards. What was that? We'll just do this as well. Load it. I'm going to find Gobble a Ghost as well while we're at it. Gobble a Ghost. Gobble a Ghost. Here we go. We'll search PlayZX for Gobble a Ghost. Gobble a Ghost. I found it. And there's also Gobbler. 2 versions of Gobbler. And Gobbleman. All great titles, clearly. Just checking there's nothing else on here before I turn it over. Oh, I'm enjoying this. No, there's definitely nothing else on that side of the tape. I'm going to rewind it on the other side, just in case we get Spellbounds on there. But we're going to try and load Gobbler Ghost from PlayZX. You can't beat a bit of PlayZX. Oh, I forgot to show how that worked. I meant to do that this episode. Somebody mentioned in the comments the other day how you do that. Basically, though, you get your tape, CD tape cassette adapter, which you've got. You drop it into the drive without using the door itself, or you can do it with the door, but you have to be careful about how the cable goes in. You connect it back to your mobile phone or device that produces the sound, and effectively it does it. So I do apologise. I meant to show that at the beginning of that. I feel very bad now that I didn't do that. So. But yeah, you can drop it in there, and you can just load the games up from that. It's kind of a useful feature. Is this going to be low code? Yeah, it is. Hang on. Stop. That's not going to load. Stop. Break. Break. Load. Did. Code. Load code. There we go. Play. Let's go for it. This should load nicely now. This has appeared before on What's on the Tape. I'm pretty sure of that. It's basically a Pac-Man clone. Pac-Man being... It's one of these funny things, isn't it? It's like they genuinely are... There's so many of them that genuinely are those initial big games that are so almost so iconic, which is even more sad because they should be in almost everybody's mind at this point in time. They should be burned in their entire generations of things. You know, Pac-Man... Space Invaders, Galaxians, Centipede, all of these kind of games should almost be burned into the brains of everybody. Those are the big hitters that made it through several generations. I mean, if you think about it as well, things like Bubble Bobbles made it quite a long way. It still pops up even to this day. They're still making modern day remakes of it, which is kind of good. Bad at the same time because they don't tend to make them as nice as they used to make them. But yeah, there are games that have been making it through the generations that should still be played. Things that we should still be going for and enjoying. And these are the games of a time. But the Pac-Man is being one of those. Of course, that's started the game straight away because of course that's what you would do. I'm going to assume it's these. What's the keys? Yes. I would would assume it was cursor keys, but it doesn't seem to be working on cursor keys. Z. Hang on. A. Was that A? X? Yes. Oh, that's down. Okay, I've got down. I've got it. Right, okay, here we go. Eat the back pills. Oh, look at them. Oh, he's pretty quick. Now, in the original Pac-Man, of course, each of the ghosts had a certain function. What certain ones would track you if they saw you. Certain other ones would not track you. Normally, they'd run when they go blue to that point where you can eat them. But what amused me though is that the original creator of the game, when asked about these things, he calls the pills cookies, which I don't think they're cookies. I think they're pills. Everybody calls them pills, but apparently he calls them cookies. Not sure why they're cookies in his mind. That computer's taking the shortest possible route to me. That's not bad, that, actually. Once I worked out the keys, it wasn't bad. This is not a bad Pac-Man gobble a ghost. I tried to gobble a ghost when it wasn't gobbleable. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's an absolute clone, of course, of Pac-Man, but it's on the Spectrum scale of things, it's smooth enough, it works well enough. It's a single-screen arcade game. Sometimes I've often said the Spectrum's very good at doing these sort of single-screen things. Yeah, I quite like that. No to continue. Right, okay. Or no to go back to to this. Let's see if we can do load dit hit and see if there's something different on this other side of this Beyond tape. We might find that this has got all kinds of weird and wonderful stuffage stuck onto it. So we'll see whether or not it's actually there. Let's go for it. Spellbound. All right, fair enough. We actually have Spellbound on one side of the tape. That's okay. I'm not disappointed. I'm not disappointed. I could have been disappointed, but I'm not disappointed. It's quite nice that we actually had a different game as well. We've had quite a few different games along the way. I'd say first time I played this was on Softaid. Softaid, I was always one of those kids where if I did have to save up my pocket money, I would be looking for either big titles for the Spectrum that I would like, the ones that I think are really, that were really good ones that I wanted. Or I'd be trying to find compilations with multiple games on. I kind of wanted those. I used to buy a lot of those. It's the reason why I quite like doing the compilations now at the end of What's on the Tape, because people have sent them to me, quite a few compilations, and these things have been for me are quite memorable, because I used to buy, where possible, compilations, because you got the best value for your money, didn't you? You certainly did. We didn't have I don't remember us doing that whole queuing up and standing outside. I didn't think that happened until the 90s, where we started to queue up for games when they were on release day. However, we were quite quick to always get a copy of, the latest Codemasters budget title or something from Silverbird. I never really could, as I say, couldn't really afford the expensive ones. Mostly for me, it was mostly budget titles all the way along. I mean, I remember there's simple things though, simple games that still hold a place for me, and even now when I play them, I quite enjoy them, like Desert Burner from Sparkles or Creative Design. Those games kind of hold that lovely, I guess, feeling for me of a little bit of nostalgia, but at the same time I quite enjoy the gameplay. All you do is you shoot along the desert and you jump holes and cars and things like that on a motorcycle while shooting helicopters out of the sky. Why not? Why not? Brilliant stuff. Those are the kind of, and then of course there was the strategy, turn-based strategy things like Laser Squad. Absolutely phenomenal games. Really, really good games. Laser Squad, Lords of Chaos, of course the itself back to Julian Gallup's original. One of his, no, he didn't create it. It was based on the Games Workshop design of a game, Chaos. But of course that spurred him on to create many a game, including right up to XCOM and and Phoenix Point, a game which I really do want to get, but I haven't got, because I can imagine it's still got his love and design in it, whereas I think XCOM is now somebody else's baby. He kind of have to. That's the horrible thing about it, isn't it? These things often get sold on the rights to something that you designed all those years ago, or certainly were heavily involved in the creation of, and you don't get to keep it. Somebody else wants to keep the rights to that, and so you have to kind of try and generate a new franchise, and you have to be strong enough as your development and team to actually do that. And I think that must have been quite hard for Julian Garrett, especially, as I say, Phoenix Point is his next creation. I don't think, on the scale of things, people will have known about it enough. What he was looking for, obviously, was those XCOM players to abandon their love of XCOM and head on to sort of onto Phoenix Point. I'd actually really would like to try it though. It's basically the same thing, but with his slant and his software house on that. Spellbound, of course. Spellbound here. You've been turned into a frog, because that's what witches do. They're very obsessed by frogs, but they also like frogs, don't they? Because that's one of those things. Maybe they just use them for making other spells. It must be a powerful spell if they've turned a human into a frog. There must be some very powerful magic involved in that. Lots and lots of powerful magic. I've run out of coffee now, though, since the post lady went round the corner to look at the dog, which is quite funny, really. The dog was just going nuts. It's one of those dogs as well, though, that if the gate had opened, it would be cowering behind somebody's legs. But because the gate was shut, it was safe to make as much noise as it could possibly make as a small Chihuahua mixed with a Yorkshire Terrier. It's just, imagine something that's sort of under 30 centimetres long and stands around about 25 centimetres high. It's not the tallest thing, and maybe higher. Maybe 35, actually. Maybe it stands a bit taller than it is lengthwise because of its head, sort of where it stands up. Yeah, it's a bit of a... Typically, it's a nutcase. So, anyway, what's downsway? I've never heard of downsway. That's obviously a version of the joystick that you can use. Right, okay. Keyboard 3, because I remember the keys, I think. I do remember the keys. So you've got to change the colour of all these. Oh damn, I pushed the wrong way. Oh damn, I pushed the wrong way. See how they're caught in the web at the top there, though? Right, okay, see if I can beat this time. They just go downwards, by the way, so I just need to kind of stay out of their way. Yay, did it! And then the next level. Simple game. I like it. I do you know what I quite like about it? I like how bright the graphics are, and I've said this before to you about I like the colours of this thing. You know how bright it is on these simple arcade games, and it's nice. It's not the most responsive of games. The kind of controls are a bit you could call sticky. They don't respond as well as they could do, but on the scale of things, I do like it. I think it's a good game. I used to be quite into this one when I was early days, and especially as it came on the soft aid tape, and I used to play the Jack and the Beanstalk as well. I used to be quite keen on that one. Oh dear, yeah, because you kind of get this stalled movement from them as well. I jumped off the edge like an idiot, and it's all over. You score 4-4-4-4. It's not bad, that one. It's not bad at all, actually. I quite like that one. But you know what? I'm going to rummage in the box again. I think we'll have another game. Hang on. I've lost the box in the process. What's in the box? What's in the box? Hang on. Chucking out all the other tapes that I've already done. Hang on. Let's take them off the top, because I put them on the top so that I wouldn't pick them out. Right, I've got some more in here. Right, I'm going to go for it again. So listen, here you go. What we got? Oh, yeah, okay. I've not played this one. Don't think I've played this one on the Spectrum before, but it's certainly one that part of my collection. Subway Vigilante from players premiere. Yeah, I kind of keen to have a little blast on this, and we'll see what it's like. I don't know what it is like, but we'll give it a try. Oh, wrong side of tape. Turn it over. Subway Vigilante. I think it had some nice graphics on the Amstrad CPC. I think I played it on there. I don't know why I played it. I don't know why it was the one that grabbed me. I think it was the look of the screens. There's like a little guy sort of on there. We'll see what it's like. It's worth a try. It's worth a blast. I've and to be fair, I think you've got the time to watch a little bit more. You've got a little bit more time to watch it. Subway Vigilante. Subway, of course, in the United States is what they think of with a train station. We, of course, in the UK, it's the underground, isn't it? That's what we call it, the underground. To me, a subway is just somewhere that goes underneath the road that's often lit. If that's loading, that's mental. I don't think that's loading. I'm trying to see if I've got it behind me. No, that's definitely not loading. That's going bonkers. Let's turn it over and try the other side. Isn't that funny? The ones that we think would load it perfectly are the ones that actually haven't loaded at all. I wonder if it'll run in the 128k mode. Let's give that a try. Let's give that a go. Might as well. While we're here. Got 2 lovely big boxes of stuff in my house now. 2 boxes of stuffage. That's the post lady delivering a second box of stuffage. But the second box of stuffage is from my friend Andre. He sent me a picture of some Nintendo 3DS games, and he knows that I'm a collector of 3DS and DS games. I kind of like them. There are some really naff ones out there. The 50p jobs all the way along, but of course they don't do them anymore. So because they don't make them anymore, they'll become consistently rarer, I guess. I hate the word rare, uncommon as they go along. So I've been collecting them for a while, and to be fair, I literally was an original collector of the DS. I had a DS back in when they first came out, which I think was 2004. I was playing Mario 64 on it. Not that I'm a big Mario fan, but I quite like the Mario 64 because it's weird. It's got a different loading screen. On the Mario 64 had a lot of sort of unlockable mini games, which were very much the style of the original. Because of course the DS stands for dual screen. Those kind of original Nintendo dual screen. Oh, this looks good. That looks really good. Looks like it's going well. That looks like Sylvester Stallone in the centre there. That's old Sly Stallone freelancing again as a street vigilante in that game. That's not going very well, by the way. That's not going very well at all. That's me hoping it would load straight away. No problem at all. We wouldn't have any issues. But I'm going to give it another whirl. We'll give it a try. But yeah, so it was. What was I talking about? I've forgotten completely. Was got put off by Sly Stallone's huge muscular body as it was standing there. I'm actually flexing right now. Flexing my pecs. Flex pecs, just like Johnny Bravo. Remember Johnny Bravo? Flex pecs. You've got to be of a certain age to remember that. But I've actually forgotten. I've gotten completely lost. I normally try and keep up with where I am in my own conversations, because to be fair, I do spout a load of rubbish most of the time, and then I have to remember what rubbish I've actually spouted along the way. Nope, completely gone. Lost it. Lost it. That's a shame, because I was obviously on a roll there as well. It's even worse. Definitely on a roll there. I'm looking down at where my sort of where I've just got to grab my Spectrum from, and I can see that there's a number of Spectrum, the complete Spectrum books, basic books, sided by. Oh no, don't do that. Beside it, getting better though. It's starting to load more of it. Look, before it does the horrible thing of breaking. Let's give it another try. I'm gonna give it another try. We need this to load now. Let's do that. Beside the Spectrum books, and down there we've got my sort of complete Rogue Trooper from the 80s, and I even remember some of those episodes of the Rogue Trooper. I actually watched I know, and I do apologise to everybody listening right now, especially if you're a 2000 AD fan. I do apologise for doing it, but I watched it because I wanted to see whether or not the thing I'd actually seen on it, the sort of making of it, kind of matched up with what was going on. So, Judge Dredd, not Dredd, the good one with Kyle Urban. No, Dredd, the one with Sylvester Stallone playing the fantastic judge. I am the law, just like that. That's his first line, by the way, in the movie. This first line is he comes out and I think he gets off his bike and he just shouts, "I am the law," and then everybody does it. It's like a joke, isn't it? I'm the law, Rocky. Anyway, so it does that. Well, I watched a sort of a making of that particular excellent a making of that particular movie, and it seems that the director and the vision that the producers had for it were two different things. Producers probably never read 2000 AD, nor did they understand the brutality that this particular comic book had, its tongue-in-cheek and its sarcasm and all the other things that went with it. So they had no real idea of this, and I don't think necessarily the writers had much idea either, but the director did know. The director knew that Judge Dredd was this tough, kind of rough character, and there's a point, I think, where he asks one of the ABC warriors to dismember the sort of the in a double cross, you dismember this person, pull him limb from limb, he says. And apparently there's still a point where you can half see the splashes of the blood across the screen, because they actually did that whole dismembering thing. But what they wanted was a movie for parental guidance. This is the time, wasn't it? This is when they were starting to knacker movies, weren't they? But they wanted parental guidance, and he wanted to make an R-rated movie, an 18 Judge Dredd, which would have been appropriate for Judge Dredd. But they wouldn't let him do that, and they kept coming back and kept cutting the whole thing and trimming the whole thing down to the point where you got this half cartoony, strange thing that was never going to be Judge Dredd. So if you were a fan of the comic book, you were confused. If you were somebody coming to it first time round, you were also confused because it didn't gel. And of course, also our protagonist, Mr. Stallone, I am the law, spends the entire movie with his helmet off, which Dredd, you never see Dredd without his helmet, ever. Kyle Urban did it correctly. He wore his helmet throughout the entire movie. You never see Dredd without his helmet off. Sylvester Stallone, helmet off. There's even sexual tension between him and Judge Hershey. Nope. No such thing. Judge Dredd is pure authoritarian goodness. He's the epitome of everything that is. Oh God, we almost got there though. One more time. It's the epitome of that sort of authoritarian sort of man. It's honestly, you can't make it up. So yeah. Apparently the director was way at odds with what they were doing, and he hadn't realised what they wanted was a PG movie. Personally, I don't think anybody could make. You can't make a PG or a 15 Judge Dredd. You can't. It just doesn't work. No way in the world does that work. How can you do that? How can you do that to the man himself? So, but yeah, down on that shelf there's an interesting combination of sort of comic books and Spectrum things, interspersed with actual books. So we've got down there Dead Space and Vampires by Snyder, I think it is. It's about 2,000 pages long. All about sort of vampires. Very good comic book, actually, to be honest with you. And next to that, we've got Clive Barker's The Next Testament. So this is what happened when God came back to Earth. It's quite a gritty drama, and I'm sure it would upset many a person with its biblical references. But to be honest with you, I don't think Clive Barker has ever been one to shy away from a bit of a grotesque God-loving, i.e. he is the man who invented Hellraiser. I'm quite excited to see the new Evil Dead movie, though. Evil Dead Rises. I'm quite excited to see that. It looks pretty nasty. The thing about the original Evil Deads, though, was they were very tongue-in-cheek, weren't they? It was Evil Dead, the Army of the Evil Dead, which is the third one, and there was the one in between, the Evil Dead 2. And obviously it was Bruce Campbell, and of course it's a TV series as well. It's all properly hammed up by Bruce. Bruce is beautiful at hamming these things up. They're ridiculous, they're horrific, they're gruesome, but at the same time there's that level of humour that runs throughout it that's intoxicating. It's really good. Then they redid another one, didn't they, in 2013, I think it was. They did the Evil Dead again. And they turned it into a horror movie. Which sounds balmy when I'm saying it when you say it out loud, but back in the 80s and 90s, horror movies were often very self-aware, and as a fact, they almost became comedic in their nature. So you know your Nightmare on Elm Street, your Jason in Friday the 13th. All of these things were quite what I would call comedic movies. Even Halloween, to some extent, is probably more gritty than most. But those particular ones, you know, and of course the Evil Dead itself, those movies were all kind of self-aware and humorous. They knew what they were and they knew what they were doing. It's a bit like the sort of the last movie recently with what's it called, something or other. His last movie, Cocaine Bear. Extremely self-aware. He knew exactly what it was. It was a joke. It was violent. It was gritty. It was a joke. Piranha. The new Piranhas and the old Piranhas. Self-aware, gritty, stupid. The newer ones are just utterly ridiculous. They really are. You know, lots of stupid stuff. You know, people with chewed off limbs still cracking jokes. That kind of thing. Love that kind of stuff. Be interested to see if this new one is going to go to the whole absolute horror route, or whether or not it's going to find that balance of knowing that it's no, I don't think they're comedies, but you know what I mean, that kind of comic horror that's there. There's a balance to these things. I don't mind them when they're horrible movies, but I do but there's a balance between whether they are or they aren't. There really is. And there's a couple of movies that I saw. The French are particularly good, by the way, at really horrible horror movies. A couple that spring to mind are Frontiers, which is based in. I'm going to try the other side, by the way, because we're going to give it a go. Frontiers, which is based in Paris. That is a pretty nasty movie. And then, of course, you have also, if you're feeling brave, you've also got Martyrs, which starts quite smoothly and sort of then just descends into utter. It starts as sort of more thriller and then turns into a horror movie extraordinaire. It's pretty nasty, realistically. In fact, it's extremely nasty. So. Yeah, there's a couple of French ones there. The French do that. The Spanish, on the other hand, I always find the Spanish quite interesting. They just pretty much, you know, how we talk about cloning Spectrum games back in the day. Yeah, the Spanish tend to just clone ideas that have already previously happened. So they do slashers that are basically Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but in the Spanish coast. This is not wanting to load, people. I'm going to see if it's on PlayZX. I don't know if it will be or not. It's one of those ones, and I think it's got some kind of weird loader going on. So we will try hard to see if it gets to work. If it doesn't, I might pull another one. I might pull something else out of the box. I might just force you to watch more, because I'm really enjoying playing today. And yakking to you, of course. Talking to you about all the exciting things. I'm going to turn that Spectrum off now, because that's just so annoying. Why don't you push that reset button there like that? Right. Subway Vigilante by Players. Here we go. It doesn't say it's 128k. We'll give it a go on the basic and we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. So I'm not feeling very confident with this one. There's another game called Subway, though, by ALZ Software, Superplay Software. I'll give it a try anyway. We'll give this one a try, see what happens. If it doesn't work, we'll maybe pull something else out of the box. That was a bit disappointing that it hasn't gone so far. Bit disappointing, but yeah. I'm a bit of over the years. I've been what you would call a bit of a movie buff. I think I mentioned this the other week that my wife was asking me to sort of tidy up my collection. I've been a bit of movie buff. I used to love watching movies. In fact, I still love watching movies. I love watching. There you go. It's not gonna work. It doesn't want to work. This is just not a game that wants to work. It's not a game that wants to load. It's not a game that we're going to get to load. So let us stop that so it's not making any noise. Let's pop this tape out and let's see if we can get another one. Let's go for another one. Let's go another one at the box. I have the box beside me. Yeah. Let's have a little look and see what we can find in here. Let's have a... I'm just fiddling around here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hang on. I'm actually looking now because I need to find... I want to find something interesting. I don't want to play on something that isn't interesting. Let's find something here. Have I played that one before? No, I just picked out there. I picked out some quite good ones actually, to be honest. There's a load of good ones in here actually. I didn't realise there was. What's that one? Oh, that's the one by Colt. They did a lot of sports game back in the day. The Colt did. What was that one I just picked out a moment ago? There we go. Quite like this one. Quite like this one. We'll pop this in the player and have a load of this one. So let's go. This is one of this is Shaw Brothers. This one, we did one the other day, but this is Shaw Brothers. This is Heartbroken. This is a kind of it's a kind of Ghosts and Goblins, but not Ghosts and Goblins clone. It's kind of like that a little bit. It's a little bit sort of we work your way across platforms. Not quite the same, but it's from left to right in its way it works across. So, yeah, this is not a bad game. I do like the Shaw Brothers. They did create some. I think I like Super Kid. A lot of people don't like Super Kid. I liked Super Kid. I'm not sure about Super Kid in space, but I did like Super Kid. That was quite a good one. So they're one of my more preferred sort of budget title creators, to be honest with you. But yeah, so movies. I just say my wife's having me sort of tidy it through. She's making me tidy through my Blu-rays at the moment. What I used to do is I used to upgrade when it went from formats. So I went from VHS. And to be fair, I was Betamax. So Betamax, VHS to DVD. I was one of the early adopters of DVD, where you had the problems where things didn't run on certain DVD players because people had different formats. How horrendous was that? And then you've got, but then you've got the sort of the next format being Blu-ray, and then of course 4K and 8K. Those I haven't even got to, and then I stopped because unfortunately we all get streaming services, and thank goodness for the worst video store in the world called Amazon Prime. There are many a movie I've watched from there and gone, my God, I've just wasted 90 minutes of my life. That's where I got to watch such classics as Killer Sofa and the Beaster Bunny, based on the exploits of the worst animatronic bunny rabbit ever, set round supposedly Easter, but nobody really mentions Easter apart from the mayor, who thinks that all these people being decapitated by the Beaster Bunny is down to electronic component goods, so you must get rid of your vacuum cleaners because they all got dismembered, their heads removed by vacuum cleaners, plus the added usual way back in the 80s and 90s scantily clad or nude ladies. That's what the Beaster Bunny brought to the world, and that was a fairly modern movie. So there are some awful ones out there, but thank goodness for that, say, the worst video store of them all, Amazon Prime, because quite literally I don't buy off it. I really don't. I refuse to buy off it because who's going to keep my collection after that? It's no point. But the worst video store in the world. I remember going to these places back as a kid. You know, you'd go. We used to go as not as a kid, but this is sort of a little later when we were old enough to buy 18s, you know, and other movies. So you could go get your latest Chuck Norris classic where he was blowing some Delta Force or something like that. You know, he's blowing something up for fun. But that's the thing about that as well. I remember going to a friend's house, and for his birthday, his mum had got him like a Chuck Norris movie, and I'm sure it was something like Delta Force. And then basically, there was jeeps everywhere and everything exploding. That's all I remember about the movie. Nothing else. do I remember about the movie other than the jeeps flying everywhere and things exploding. But anyway, so you'd go to the video store and you'd literally be presented with the worst dross that was there. The good stuff had already gone. Somebody'd already taken it. There was no way you were going to get the latest releases. So you went in there and you hired whatever you could get your hands on, and it usually turned out to be utter garbage. I mean, really was just utter garbage. The worst part about this, and I don't even remember a day where I legendarily went to the to your local sort of Blockbuster, even the Blockbuster, to be honest with you. You went to one of these stores and you went, wow, a copy of Titanic or something. I don't know, just thinking out loud here, but something that you hadn't seen before. Ghostbusters, maybe. There was a copy of Ghostbusters to loan. No, none of that ever happened. It's just the worst stores ever. And everybody just would look at them. You'd pick them up, and a couple of you go down there, and you'd be getting some snacks or something similar. You'd be like looking at the videos, and you'd be like, yeah, it looks good enough. The back of the box is all right. Yeah, let's get this one. And that's the level of enthusiasm, and then you put it on. You'd be eating snacks and you'd be watching this, and you get to the end of it, and it was so non-event that you'd be done by the end of it. But anyway, when it came to movies, it wasn't just things like that though. I wouldn't probably watch as many movies as I do, and I'm more than happy to give things a sort of second chance. There's a movie out there, and oh god, can't remember its name. Something I want to call it Star Trooper, but I know it's not called Star Trooper. And it's a fantastic. There's a lovely twist in its tale. It's got a cast of about 4 people in it. Some relatively low budget sci-fi effects, but it's a long. It's a decent story. And if I hadn't looked at the cover and went a bit like the Spectrum games back in the day, if I hadn't picked up it because of the cover. And by the way, they do that on modern day movies like these, don't they? They still produce these fantastic covers for these lowest budgets of movies ever. I mean, to be honest with you, Beast of Bunny has the most awesome cover sort of slide. Google it. Google the Beast of Bunny sort of cover. Honestly, you will be amazed. It looks so good. This huge gigantic bunny chasing these 2 scantily clad ladies with blood dripping from its lips, and it looks great. Reality is totally different. This is what we used to get with Spectrum games back in the day. But the thing is, we used to put up with it anyway. And as I say, it was 90 minutes of life I wouldn't get back. But did I mind back watching Beast of Money? No, I didn't, because I'm talking to you about it. So it actually wasn't that bad. Right, T to turn the page. I don't know what keys are. Oh, this is evil. Yeah, it's our hero. Oh, there's a wizard we've got to beat up. I remember this. We've got to save a princess. She looks very very zombified. She's like walking forward. He's going to be shouting brains in a minute. Warlock himself, his creations, his demons, his ghosts, his goblins, his castle guards, giant trolls, cauldrons, keyboard, Q, A, O, P, and M for fire. That's all we wanted. And this program, Graham, David, Adrian, are all in there. They're the three, the Shaw brothers. If you tweet them, by the way, they often tweet back. They're nice people. Right, okay. Heartbroken. There you go. See, it says ACG. Look, RIP. So they having a little go at the old ACG people, or Ashby Computer Graphics or Computer Games, isn't it? Right. I'll go up here. Go down there. Found a bonus. I'm going up now. There's a troll. Killed the troll. I gave him the full automatic fire. What we found here? Found a spell. Whee! Boom. And on we go. Got ya. I do like the graphics on it though. A lot of effort. Got ya. Into the castle. You just stay there. Minimise screen size as well. These guys were pretty good programmers. They really were, and I think that the combination, you know, I mean, maybe being brothers really does help the design process possibly. That thing. I'm assuming yeah, it kills you. I did wonder. I'll shoot on. And on we go. Up we go. And we're going down here. Definitely to map this, because of course you can see I've now turned into a room that I didn't need to be. So it's one of those ones where it does need a map. You most definitely do need a map. You stay up there, creature. So I can't get past this thing yet. I can't get through that wall yet. That's okay, I don't mind that. I can get this way though. I can't get through that way because there's a... Uh-oh, warlock. I've got the top score now. I don't need to go up that way. Do need to climb up here. Oh. Oh. I don't know how to get past the giant, but he's there. There we go. We'll go past him. Oh, we can go up. Ah, spells. Elixir. Glass elixir. I'm doing quite well here. I think I'm doing quite well. I think I'm finding my way around. I'm sort of memorizing a little bit of this. That sounds almost so too cool to be me. Memorizing the bits as we're going round. It's quite good. Heartbroken's one of those ones that I recognise. I think's pretty good for a budget title. There's the big boss himself. Look, I can't hit him. So I've got an elixir. I wonder if I can get past that beast down the bottom now. You know, the one that I had, because I've got an elixir there. Maybe that elixir will be enough to get past. I can't leave the castle though. There's another place to go. There's a further on. Oh, he got me. Please don't kill me. Oh, that was close. Cool. Maybe leave the castle. It's maybe what we need to do here. Have a little whiz through the castle. You can just stay there, you horrible bird gargoyle thing. Gotcha. Whoa! I ran right into him. No! Oh, that was really good. I enjoyed that. That was a good way. That was a lovely way to finish the game. Actually, I quite enjoyed that. Anyway, I've been your host, Real G9 Team, and thank you for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye now.